All right, guys, hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at the markets, some setups, all that good stuff. So, starting with the market, VIX had a pretty nice down day today, 6%. Um, New all-time high on S&P 500, new closing all-time high on S&P 500. We have this moving steadily up to that, getting close to that oversold point, so that's a little worrisome. Um, but you can see we're finding clear support on the moving averages here on the Qs, and same thing with SPY. We're just finding really good support here on the moving averages. And yeah, you can see we're starting to try and trend up. And yeah, good looking breakout here on volume, decent volume. So I don't know. In my opinion, I kind of feel like we're starting to get to a point where we could put some risk on. So let's take a look at some stuff here. So, best 1 month, we've still got aerospace and defense at the top. We've got construction, which has moved up pretty steadily, XLB, um, and aerospace and defense. So let's take a look at some stuff here. So, overview of key sectors. Nothing too crazy going on. It's been a minute, so let's go over the sectors here. Take a look at these. So XLC looking really, really good here. XLU not looking too hot. Um, XLY, a little bit of a breakout there. Nice. SMH, new all-time highs. XLK getting a nice buy signal. And the last few times we've gotten buy signals, we've seen pretty decent follow through here. We saw it here. We saw it here. Um, and yep. So we've got some good setups here. And we're continuing to make higher lows. Just a classic VCP pattern. We're holding um, the 50. So XLK looks great here. XLP looks coming up on that 50. It's been rejecting over and over again, so we'll see what happens with that. XLF looks good here. Inside day, one of the leaders in through here. Let's check lower time frame chart. Got to break this downtrend before we can get stuff going, but we gotta check like JPM. Like some of these earnings are coming up or next week. So yeah, I think we can avoid XLF for now. Energy, it's just been so choppy. It's hard to want to get involved in that. Industrials looking pretty solid here. Nice breakout of a multi-month base. So that's a pretty solid setup there. Um, so we'll want to keep an eye on that as well. So great breakout there. Uh, XLV looks okay. Yeah, XLB, nice breakout here. It's making its way to all-time highs. How's that weekly chart look? Yep, nice breakout. Kind of similar thing here going on for XLY. Let's see if we've got any other weekly buy signals in through here. Got a nice weekly squeeze here on XLC, which looks really solid. Um, Nothing there. XLY, nice. SMH just continuing to push. Very nice. XLK looks like the market. Yep, these things that are making a push out had buy signals and had a really nice setup on the back of it. So uh, nice to see. See if there's anything else that kind of stands out. Quantum, nice little flag here that it's breaking out of. So good little chart there. Yep, aerospace and defense. I wonder if ITA had weekly buy signals. Yep, sure did. Nice setup there. Yeah, some weekly buy signals have been popping off in certain stocks recently. Let's check this. Like Katos is one within this sector. Rocket Lab, nice one. Breakout right there. Got a lot of good looking charts here. IBD 50, some buy signals, interesting. Um, just see if there's anything nice. Nice breakout there on the weekly chart. Nuclears. Okay, so that's a big deal. We need to take a look at some stuff here. So, okay, hello. Kind of trying to somewhat do a little bit of prep with you guys as I'm in it, just because I think that it could be beneficial for you guys, just to see my process and what I like to do on a day-to-day basis. So here, I want to add this. Can't remember how to do it, but LEU, nice chart. Um, and then there was another one, and then E, and the last one is SMR. Yeah, so OKLO, LEU are the best looking ones here. This one's starting to come out and break out, so it's a good look. Keep an eye on that. But I think LEU actually looks a bit better off the daily chart. Yep. Inside day. Nice. Okay, we'll keep a close eye on this next week because I do think we're getting to a spot where we actually might want to put some risk on. Um, and so yeah. Yeah, I think this one looks good. I'm gonna keep an eye on this for sure. Uh, Continuing through there. Zoom out to that weekly chart. Yeah, that this looks great. Keep an eye on this. You can see it's just building higher lows. So if we can find an entry, be awesome. So nuclears definitely on high watch. And I mean, um, quantums. Quantums are just looking really good. What's this? Yeah, that looks good as well. So tech ETF, KWeb, that looks terrible. Um, so yeah, quantum. So quantum actually made a new all-time high today. So I'm just gonna go over here to ChatGPT and see what the updated holdings are. Uh, Okay, so top holdings, those aren't right. Okay, go to trustworthy. What's that called? Yahoo Finance. One moment. Quantum. Alrighty. So MU is a leading holding in there. Oops. MU, RTX. Yeah, no wonder this thing is doing well. MU, which is one of the major leaders here. NTNX. That one doesn't look good. RTX. Yeah, so this isn't very helpful. Baidu. Baidu looks had a really nice run. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So that was not helpful whatsoever. Um, just continuing to flip through. Gold looking pretty good here inside week. This right here, this weekly squeeze, or easier seen here, this weekly buy. Trade of the year, same thing here, still hasn't broken the nine. I put this in my uh trades as this year. One of the fumbled trades of the year. We bought calls here and sold them on this pullback here, and then stopped looking at it and then had that insane move. Unfortunate. Okay, uranium ETF with buys. So URA, let's take a look at what's holding in URA. We've got like CCJ, I'm sure. Um, okay, so CCJ isn't one of the top holdings. Okay, hello. UEC, interesting. Good looking chart there. Hmm. Okay. Want to keep an eye on that. All right. And so that about wraps it. So now we can talk about a little bit setups that I'm keeping an eye on into next week. So PRIM industrials have been performing well as we saw with the weekly buys, and it's starting to push out. This one looks pretty solid here. I like the chart. I like the setup. Um, so this one is looking really solid for a breakout, and I'm just keeping an eye on it into next week. We'll want to pick up some shares for a continued breakout. Um, NVT, similar story. Um, Weekly squeeze, basing after this weekly break or this larger base breakout, flagging just below all-time highs. Solid, solid setup. Um, Inside day today, which is nice. And yeah, so pretty solid setup there. CLS, similar story. This has earnings coming up pretty soon, but it's getting really tight here. It's finding support at the weekly 21, and we had an inside day today. So this is just a pretty solid setup here as well. So I'm keeping an eye on that. It just seems to be flagging and basing. Is it going to flag until earnings? Is it going to break out before earnings? Who knows? But great looking chart, and I think it's worth taking a look at on Monday. A-Lab, the chart looks okay. We're finding support at this previous high from this run up. And price is getting really tight here. Um, and yeah, if we can pop back above these moving averages, this might be a good spot to try and catch this move higher. Because if you're looking at this we've got a higher low here, we've got a higher low here, and then this could potentially be another higher low that gives us a breakout to the upside. So we've kind of broke this downtrend. And so now we've got a little something going on here. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. I like the chart. I like the setup. And so I'm keeping an eye on that. Shopify. This one's a little bit of a slower mover. I'm probably going to just remove that for now. Um, STX. This one keeps just grinding higher and finding support at the weekly 9 or weekly 10. And it had a pretty solid bounce today. So I'm going to keep an eye on this into next week. I don't necessarily think it's ready, but uh pretty good looking chart. I'd like it to tighten up a bit. UUU, similar story. Kind of right below resistance, so keep that off my list. LEU, after finding this chart, I am very interested in this. Um, yeah, I think this will be one of top priorities go come Monday. Breakout above like 308, um, with a stop at like 302. This could be a really nice setup here. Great looking chart, and it might pull back to the moving averages. We'll see, but I like this weekly squeeze here. I like the breakout of this consolidation. I like the volume coming in. I just like this setup, and I think that this could be a really nice trade. I think it was UEC that I was looking at. Yeah, UEC was the one I was looking at. Yep. So this one is building base. No entry on this one yet. Um, I think Dave also has a nice setup here on the weekly chart. And then we've got, so actual setups, I think we've got LEU, ALAB, and potentially CLS and NVT into Monday. So keep an eye on those. Pick your favorites. My probably top two favorites are LEU and ALAB, just based on the way they're setting up. Um, IREN, I'm keeping an eye on this one. We're just building, there's a ton of stocks that are building weekly basis that you just can't really ignore. And then this one looks good because it's was once below this 50 here, or this 200 on the 30 minute, and now it's broken back above, which is a really good sign, just for a potential trend change. And we came back and retested, so may have to move this up to back to paying attention to trade it. And then same thing, QUBT or QBTS. I like this one. Um, it needs to find support, but we had a weekly buy here, so that one looks pretty good. Joby, I like this one as well in the aviation space. We're at support from the 200, or sorry, that previous spike there. So we keep finding support. We are coming back and back testing the EMAs. So I'm interested to see if we can get this one to set up into a nice formation to enter. I'd like it to tighten up a bit. Um, Same thing with this one. Weekly chart looks good, just not necessarily an entry right now. Kato, same thing, just a leader. That one, too extended. Can probably take a couple of these off my list. This one also looks good. I'm probably gonna hold off on it though. Nice flag on this one, holding off on it. Uh, Amazon, if it doesn't come back, then I just am gonna chalk it up as a miss. But if it can pull back and I can get an entry, I would like to be in this one. It's acting like a leader and showing relative strength right now, so I would like to find an entry on that one. Um, Reddit, Reddit weird backtest today, so I'm kind of keeping. It still has a weekly squeeze, so I'm just keeping an eye on it, see if I can figure out where to enter this stock to go long. This one probably needs some time to base. This is just a leader. This is a leader. This is a leader. This is kind of a leader. And this is leading in the gold space. So, putting all this stuff together, I'm just, or, oh, and then you've got Tesla. Well, let's do this one. So this SSRM, this one has a really nice weekly squeeze. Like this is a really good look, or just flag. Like this is a really, I mean, it is a squeeze, but this weekly flag is just awesome. So I'm keeping an eye on this. I don't necessarily have a good entry on it, but I really, really like the way this is setting up. And I'd like to catch an entry on this one. It's really tightening up, so I would like to see if I can get an entry on this and potentially trade this long. Really nice flag here, and it's tightening up, and that one looks awesome. CRWO, sorry, CRDO. This one had a strong pullback and shakeout and had a nice recovery into today. So I'm keeping an eye on this one as well. There was another one that, oh, Tesla. I wanted to mention Tesla. So this one's trying to put in a cup and handle, trying to break out of this like multi-year base, and it did make new all-time highs, but it didn't have any follow through. This one might just be revisit after earnings, but it is one dot into a weekly squeeze, and you can kind of see earnings improved over this most recent period, so that's a good sign, or revenue improved. And then, yeah, just not an entry right now. I'm keeping an eye on this, so for a potential spot to buy it and go long for a move back into a new all-time high and eventual break of 500. So, yeah, we've got a healthy list of weekly bases that I'm trying to keep tabs on. Um, and so like, yeah, I hope this helps. And so actionable setups that I'm keeping an eye on, they're right in through here on Monday. I think it is time that we can put some money on the line because I just think that this is setting up. So, and today's move was pretty important to me, in my opinion, just because I think that this could start kick off a rally, and so I'm interested in putting a little bit of risk on and participating. So, I think I want to do that through LEU, um, and then yeah, kind of go from there. LEU. Uh, Another one I need to add to the list is SYM. So this one is kind of trying to break out here as well. So we'll add this SYM. Okay. So yeah. All right, guys. I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching. And let me know if there's any setups you want me to take a look at or that I missed. And I'll be sure to give you feedback on those. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.